Stretching 41,000 square miles from southern Peru to northern Chile, nestled between the Andes and the Chilean Coastal Range, lies the world's oldest desert and the driest place on Earth, the Atacama. Receiving less than 1 millimeter of rainfall each year, and with some areas having received no rainfall at all in over 400 years, the Atacama Desert is over 50 times drier than California's Death Valley. Yet due to the region's lofty altitude, the elevation is 3,000 meters on average and 6,780 meters at its highest point. Summer's high temperatures average just 27 degrees Celsius and winter nights can reach freezing. Owing to its otherworldly appearance, the Atacama has been used as a location for filming Mars scenes, most notably in the television series Space Odyssey, Voyage to the Planets. But its similarity to the Martian surface isn't only useful for great Hollywood shots. Scientists believe studying this desert can help them learn what life could look like on Mars. How is that possible? Despite its dry climate, the Atacama Desert is home to some organisms. The inner core hosts only microbial life. Experts hope that studying these creatures can give them a look into how life might exist on other planets. The Atacama Desert is home to various volcanic formations, including volcanoes, lava fields, and volcanic craters. Some of these volcanoes are still active, while others are dormant or extinct. These geological features add to the desert's unique and dramatic landscape. In some parts of the Atacama Desert, particularly near the coastal areas, the dunes are often characterized by their reddish or orange color, creating a striking contrast with the surrounding arid landscape. The most famous dune field in the Atacama Desert is found in the Valley of the Moon, Valle de la Luna. It has various stone and sand formations, which have been carved by wind and water. It has an impressive range of color and texture, looking somewhat similar to the surface of the moon. There are also dry lakes, where the composition of salt makes a white covering layer of the area. It presents diverse saline outcrops, which appear like man-made sculptures. There are also a great variety of caverns. When the sun sinks, it defines the landscape, while the wind blows among the rocks and the sky passes from pink color to purple and finally black. The plant and animal life in the Atacama survive under perhaps the Earth's most demanding conditions. There is a high incidence of endemic flora. Local populations have relied on some of the species for medicinal purposes for generations. Approximately 550 species of vascular plants have been discovered in the Atacama. 3 cacti are endemic to the northern part of the Atacama Desert, and there are also numerous endemic shrubs. Animal life is very rare in this desert, though there are a few insects and lizards to be found. Mice and fox are also present, but in small numbers. The resilient Atacama Desert Flamingo is one creature that can adapt to even the harshest of them all. They are Chile's hardiest avian denizen in the desolate Atacama Desert. The diminutive, the 3 species of flamingos that developed unique adaptations to thrive side by side in the driest non-polar desert on the planet. The Atacama was one of Chile's chief sources of wealth until World War I. Prior to that time, that nation had a monopoly on the nitrate trade worldwide, which can be used for producing fertilizers and explosives amongst other things. 3 million tons were extracted in some years. The taxes alone on these exports amounted to 50% of the government's revenues. Since that time, sulfur has been mined, as well as copper, which is the region's chief source of revenue, providing over 30% of the world's copper supply. The Atacama border dispute between Chile and Bolivia began in the 1800s over these resources. Both countries claim to be the rightful owners of this region due to its huge mining potential, and at the end of the war, Chile took control of the entire region. The coastal cities of Iquique and Pisagua have ports, while railroads cut through the mountain barriers to the interior. The environment offers little support to agriculture, but some farming is done near the river oases. Lemons are grown on the shores of the salt marshes, while potatoes and alfalfa are grown near the Loa River. Currently, the Atacama Desert is littered with approximately 170 abandoned nitrate, or saltpeter, mining towns, almost all of which were shut down decades after the invention of synthetic nitrate in Germany at the turn of the 20th century. Some of these abandoned towns include Chacabuco, Humberstone, and Oficina Anita. Chacabuco is a special case since it was later converted into a concentration camp during Pinochet's regime. To this day, it is surrounded by 98 lost landmines and is guarded by one man, who lives there alone. Of archaeological importance are the Lomas formations. These beautiful and rare sites draw both tourists as well as scientists wishing to study the area. Environmentalists are concerned that the public has not been educated sufficiently enough to understand the delicate balance that is needed in this environment. Roads and mining operations have caused some damage. Overgrazing of domestic livestock has occurred in the north, as has commercial gathering of rare plants, including cacti and bulbs. The area of Quebrada El León has been overused, but with an opportunity for recuperation, could become a valuable nature reserve, providing for further study and pleasure. The desert has 3 protected areas. Pan de Azucar National Park was established in 1986 and covers 438 square kilometers. It has been recommended that this area be expanded to allow for further protection. Pampa del Tamarugal National Reserve is one of the key areas for the conservation of the threatened Tamarugo conebill. La Chimba National Reserve was most recently established. Most threats to this ecoregion are closely associated with increased urbanization, pollution, road construction, livestock grazing, fuelwood gathering, commercial plant collecting, and erosion. Archaeological evidence indicates that the San Pedro area was the center of a Paleolithic civilization that built rock fortresses on the steep mountains encircling the valley. The Atacameños, an extinct native culture different from that of the Aymaras to the north and the Diaguitas to the south, were the original inhabitants of the Atacama. The Atacama is sparsely populated today, with less than 1 million inhabitants in its 40,000 square miles. The populations are centered in the coastal cities, fishing villages, oasis communities, and scattered mining camps. In the Altiplano, the descendants of the region's pre-Columbian natives, mostly Aymara and Atacama Indians, herd llamas and alpacas and grow crops with water from snowmelt streams. The Atacama is home to some of the most advanced observatories in the world. Scientists and astronomers come from all over to use their state-of-the-art telescopes to explore the night sky. One of the most famous observatories, ALMA, which stands for Atacama Large Millimeter Array. Many would study the formation of stars with the help of the images captured by the 66 radio telescopes. Truly, the Atacama Desert is one of the few locations on the globe with 300 days of clear skies in a year, along with no light pollution and its high altitude, making it perhaps the best place in the world for observatories. Locally known as Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat spans some 4,000 square miles. It has a layer of salt a few meters thick that covers the entire space and contains over half of the world's known lithium reserves. There is very little vegetation or flamingos feeding on pink algae here. Unsurprisingly, salt mining is big business in the Uyuni salt flats. The giant hand sits east from the city of Antofagasta, reaching to the heavens under the desert earth. Chilean sculptor Mario Irarrázaval constructed this statue as a symbolic representation of previous human rights violations faced by Chileans. On a land as ruthless and devoid of life as the Atacama Desert, it is inspiring to see art incorporated into the landscape.